Hey friends, I am so excited that you are tuning in today as we are going to be sharing with you a replay, basically a recap from our membership. So every month, if you did not already know this, we have a membership for social sellers called the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur. And inside our membership, we provide a ton of stuff like a daily social media action plan. We give them, weekly mentorship, support, coaching. And recently we did a fun training series where I reached out to some phenomenal leaders in the industry and I asked them if they would give some of their best advice on how to have sizzling success this summer. And so we had this series in our community, in our paid membership, and it was so good. And so much so that I reached out to these incredible leaders and asked if I could share it with all of you. And they all said yes. So I am giving you guys a little peek behind the scenes into how we support our community. And when we did this, it was at the very beginning of May. And so I really was challenging everyone to start focusing on how they can, really work now, like batch now, prioritize their schedule now so that they can enjoy their summer. The majority of you listening to this are probably moms. Not everyone, I know, but the majority of you are moms. And the summer can be a hectic time, but it's also a lot of fun, right? You want to be able to take your kids to the splash pad or go to the pool with friends or maybe go to the zoo, or let's be honest, you might have plans to travel and just kids being home. Schedules are crazy. I myself don't get out of bed as early and routines are thrown off. And so because of this, people tend to fall into that little bit of a summer slump. And it's not because you want to, it's just because the nature of motherhood, right? Like we have more responsibilities, our kids are home more. They're not at school for 7 hours a day, or even if you're homeschooling, right? Like your routine is likely changed up. And so these incredible leaders and myself shared our best tips for how you can have success this summer. Because yes, it is still okay for you to spend more time if you want with your family and loved ones. But for many of you, your business is still a priority. It's not a matter of, is it an option to work a business? It's like, no, it is an option. And it's incredible that there's a flexible schedule, but I'm still going to show up. And so these women had some really phenomenal advice. The very first video is what you're going to be listening to today. So obviously you can't see the video, but you're listening to the audio from that recording. And it's where I am sharing kind of my 3 best tips on how to have sizzling summer success. So I'm so excited for you guys to tune in to this 3-part series. I think that you will be blessed each week, each episode. I am combining. Well, the first one will just be me. You're going to listen to a replay from me, but the part 2 and part 3 will each have 2 leaders sharing a little bit about how they believe you can have summer success. So let's get into the episode. Welcome to the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur, where we, Becky
and Monique, your new biz besties, both busy moms just like you.
We're here to talk all things network marketing, mom life, and how to truly live out your calling. We'll be dropping 2 episodes each week to help you, the busy mompreneur, know the exact strategies to build both your business and your home. You'll hear each week from one of the top network marketers on their best tips for what's led to their success and what's working now.
We know that you're here because you are called to something more. You have a desire to succeed in both your business and at home, and we are going to teach you how. If you love what you hear here on the podcast and want to be one of our success stories, join us inside our community, the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur, where we provide a daily social media action plan, additional resources, kingdom coaching, and more. Click the show notes for the link to join. So let's get into the episode.
Hello, everyone. I am so excited to kick off our Sizzling Summer Success series. That's a mouthful. Oh, my word. I thought to kick this series off, I would go live outside by my parents' pool because, oh my goodness, summer is almost here. In fact, here in Tennessee, it is beautiful out, and I'm even going to put on my sunglasses because it is a little bit like bright and sunny. So I thought this would be the perfect place to join you guys live, and I'm hoping that my service isn't terrible. I got off of the Wi-Fi. You know how it is, like when you're like at home and you're trying to get on a call. So hopefully I've got pretty good service, so we'll just have to see. But Sizzling Summer Success. So first things first, I just want to say, let's just get something out of the way, right? Like when we think about the direct sales industry and, you know, what as a whole, as well as our own personal business, it's pretty common for people to, in the summer, have either a slump or to feel like there's a sense of struggle. Whether that mean struggle with getting the business or struggle with their own personal balance and schedule, from family obligations, travel, to, you know, routines getting changed up, to people saying no more often. And so if you can relate to that, if you're like, that's me, I can relate to that, would you put me in the comments below? If you are watching this live or on the replay, or later on the podcast, you know, whatever, right? But in general, right now, live, I want you to tell me if that's you. If you feel like you struggle in the summer, and it's not necessarily because you feel like the business isn't out there, it's just, it's really hard juggling all the things, right? Like juggling your kids being home, and even if you're homeschooling, your schedule might be changing. Maybe you're not doing homeschool in the summer, and so everyone's routine is off, okay? So if that is you, put a me. Okay, so let's just get that out of the way. The first things first, that's normal. Okay? That is normal. I hate to break it to you, but the entire, like, I would say 90% of the population, things are just different in the summer. People are going on vacation. People are, the wind's blowing, and so I'm like, I feel like I need to hang on to my tripod. I'm like, I don't need y'all falling over. Routines have changed, right? Kids are out of school, people are, you know, going on vacation. And so because of that, we have to look at our business in a way. You need to look at your business in a way that, number one, you need to plan ahead, right? Success does not happen on accident, no matter what time of year. Success happens as a result of intentional planning and action taking, right? And so because of that, because of those things, we need to recognize that this is a different season we're about to step into. Some of you are already, my girls next week, they have half days all week. And so after that, they're going to be home, right? Our schedule's going to change, routine's going to change. And for some of that routine, I'm excited and looking forward to it. And others, I'm like, how am I going to navigate this time where they're always home? And so I have three tips for you, okay? If you're going to kick off this week of Sizzling Summer Success, it's like a tongue twister. To kick off this week, all right, I have three tips, all right? So if you are taking notes, you can jot these down. And if not, you can come back to it, listen to this later. I'm not going to delete the video. It'll be here so you guys can come back to it, okay? So the first one is to set summer goals. So this is something that seems pretty obvious, but the reality is you have to set goals based on what you're willing to show up and do. And what I mean by that is every single quarter, you should be doing this. You should be setting goals for the quarter and then kind of, you know, going back through the amount of time and energy that you're willing to put into that season, as well as what is required for the goal. Because the time that you're willing to put in may not align with what is really required. And so you might have to be realistic. So for some of you, you may be saying, you know what, like, I want to push for the next level, but this season, okay, the neighbor keeps doing this thing, and I'm like, hoping you guys can still hear me. But in this season, you may not be able to push for that big goal. So set summer goals based on your time
energy, and maybe even the resources that you have available to you, or like promotions. Like maybe there's something really exciting you're trying to work towards. And so you're like, you know what? I'm not worried about hitting this level, but I would really like to attend the next incentive trip. And so because of that, I need to do X, Y, and Z, right? So go ahead, take some time and say, okay, for the next, for May, June, July, or June, July, August, whatever you want that to look like, go ahead and set some goals. So whether you're using the workbook, right, the what's it called? Oh my goodness, the daily action plan, where there's goal setting inside. Sorry for the background noise, guys. This is what I get for going outside. I'm trying to mix it up. Whether you are, and I feel weird, like I need my glasses up to see you guys, but it's also kind of bright. I'm like, anyway, squirrel moment. So whether you are, thinking about your team as a whole, your sales goals, your organizational volume, your personal sales, right? Or maybe you're looking at it through the lens of promotions, or paying off a specific credit card, or, whatever it is. The goals don't have to be the same as anyone else, right? It might be that you're like, we're going on vacation on fall break in October, and I need to have $3,000 to pay for it by August, right? Like whatever that is, okay? So whatever it is, I want you to take some time and say, over the next 3 months or over the next 90 days, what is it that I want to see happen in my business, okay? And so no matter what that is, you can look at all the different parameters of your business: recruits, sales, promotions, developing leaders, all of those things. But ultimately, what is the most important thing to you? What is it that you want to have accomplished at the end of this 90 days? All right, so that's the first thing. The second thing is to create a task list. And so what I mean by that is not necessarily just IPAs, okay? Because some of the things that need to happen might not necessarily be an IPA. And so, for example, if you are trying to, maybe you're trying to earn an incentive trip. Oh, there's a bee. Trying to earn an incentive trip, and there's so many things that you have to do by a certain date to earn this trip, or maybe qualify for excellence, or like I said, maybe you're trying to save up by a certain period of time. What needs to have happened, right? What needs to have, come about, happened, you need to be doing in order to have accomplished it by the end of 90 days. And so the task list is one that I always like to just do a brain dump on a Google Doc. And the reason I do it like this is because I can move the tasks around, right? Because it's not just pen and paper. Now you can do it however you want. You can do it in the notes on your phone. You can do it on a pen and paper. You can do it anywhere, right? I'm just telling you what has worked for me. And so I do kind of this brain dump. All right, I got to put them back on. Sorry, guys. I do like a brain dump where I put all of the things, right, that need to have happened in order for that to be accomplished. And so on your task list, it might be things like, and it's not things that you're doing in a day, mind you. These are all things that have to happen. So if you're trying to make that $3,000 to pay for a fall break, trip with your family, right, and you need it by August, and you're going to break it down and you're going to say, okay, if I make, right, $1,500 in June, and $1,500 in July, I'll have my $3,000, right? And so what needs to happen now, right? What needs to happen now to ensure that that money is coming in? So for some of you, it might be bookings, which stay tuned tomorrow. You're going to hear from someone who is a pro at bookings, okay? Or it could be that you need so many customers, or you need so many, whatever, sales or new team members, whatever it is. And so create a task list of like, these things need to be in place for me to have that $3,000, or for me to have that promotion, or me to have whatever, right? And then what you're going to do is you're going to literally look at your calendar, and you're going to put it on your calendar, right? Somewhere. And so what I would highly encourage you to do is to batch your work. And I feel like this is something that's talked about a lot, and it's kind of like this like shiny, like, oh, everyone knows to do it, but like, are you really doing it? And what I mean by that is, for example, before my kids would come on summer break and I was in the party space, and I knew they were going to come home, my schedule was going to be thrown off, out of whack, whatever. I made it a priority. I told myself, I said, Becky, you have to have your entire summer calendar full, 4 shows a week by May 15th or whatever. And, you know, I didn't always do that, right? Or there were weeks that it wasn't always full, but because I knew ahead, hey, this season is coming where my kids are going to be home, and I have systems in place that it can run even when my kids are home, but I don't think I'm going to be able to have the energy or time to put into getting those bookings, right? And so for me, it was like more a matter of, okay, I know I need these bookings, and so I am going to spend the next 2 days, right? Like literally, I was like, all I'm going to do for the next 2 days is I'm going to book virtual parties or cooking shows or, whatever it is that you do. So that was just like a suggestion, is that you need to set some time aside now. And even if you're like, well, I'm already good for May, like I don't, no. Because the parties that you're having in May, or the customers that you're connecting with in May that you're like, oh, maybe, I'll get orders from them as well in June and July. That's great. Okay. That's great. But you need to double down. Wherever the income and the volume is coming from, you need to double down on it right now, this week. Okay. Because what you do right now is going to affect your business in the fall. Let me say that again. What you do right now is going to affect your business 90 days from now. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because the fall, you guys, is like the juiciest, the best selling, when all the promotions, it is like the season that you want to have set up for success, that you want to be jam-packed, full, ready to run. And you can't show up on September 1st, kids back to school, and say, I'm ready to go now. Because what's going to happen? Nothing's going to be on your calendar, right? You won't have made new connections. You won't have new customers to talk to and connect with. Maybe they give a nice, shiny new promotion and you'll have no one to talk to about it because you've been hanging out with your kids all summer, which is nothing wrong with that, right? But what you do now is going to determine what the summer looks like, which will determine what the fall looks like. I think we all understand that, right? It's just like a cycle in our business. Okay, so we're going to batch our work. Maybe that means you're spending this time booking shows. Maybe that means you're spending this week creating content. Maybe you're like, I'm going to get dressed up nice on one day and I'm going to do a whole bunch of videos all day long so that I can be intentional with my family in the summer, right? And not feel pulled either way. And actually, Megan, one of our Plexus leaders in our community, is going to talk about that this week, about how, you can still have a lot of success, but you've got to be really intentional about your time with your family and with your business. And so I'm excited for you guys to hear from her as well. So just to wrap up, there are 3 things, okay, call to action for today that you're going to do. Number 1, set summer goals based on what you want to see happen in the next 90 days. And remember, it's okay if you don't have big, bold, audacious goals, but be intentional, right? Success does not happen unless we have a plan that requires action, okay? So set summer goals. 2, create the task list. And then use that task list to say, okay, I'm going to put all of these things on my calendar, and then I'm going to batch my work now. I'm going to use this month, this week, the next couple of weeks, before Memorial Day, whatever the timeline is, the season is, to batch your work, okay? And if you're questioning what it is that you need to batch, maybe you're like, I'm not in the party space, Becky. What is it that I need to batch, right? Okay, well, you know what? Maybe it's a matter of you want to still be recruiting in the summer, okay? So maybe you know that you want to do for your team an opportunity event. So go ahead and create all the content for that opportunity event now. All the graphics that you're going to use on social media. If you have a VIP group or a community group on Facebook, or if you use Project Broadcast, you guys, and you want to do text like to all your customers throughout the summer, write all of those up on a Google Doc. Literally think about every single piece of thing like action that you take in your business, and is it something that you can prepare for now so that you don't get to the end of the summer and look back and say, man, yes, we had a great summer, but I feel like I missed out on so many opportunities to connect with people or to be consistent, right? Even just the consistency piece of social media, like showing up every single day. Do you have a plan for that right now? So I hope this was helpful. As I mentioned, I am so excited. The leaders that we have coming in this week, first of all, thank you to those incredible women that have volunteered their time to come into the community. I'm really excited about it. I think you guys are going to take so much value away from it, so much encouragement, and also just to get you hopefully on fire again for your business, because This industry is such a blessing, you guys. It is such a blessing to so many people, and I know it's a blessing to you. So don't miss out on some crazy, sizzling summer success, okay? Yes, it's okay to sit by the pool some this summer, all right? It's okay. But at the end of the day, right, the life that you have still requires you to take action. Or excuse me, the life you have, right? But the life that you desire requires you to take action. And we're not going to take action if we don't feel prepared and equipped and have a plan. So take the time now, set the goals, right? Create a task list of the things that you need to do, okay? Put it on your calendar and batch so that you don't have an excuse that your kids are home, you don't have time, right? All the things. All right, so super excited. Hopefully this was helpful to all of you. Remember, if you have a friend or team member in the community, tag them below so they don't miss the very first video. And you will be hearing tomorrow from someone who is a pro at getting bookings and has had a lot of success in the jewelry space. And I'm really excited for you to hear from her. So you guys have a fantastic day. I'll let you see my eyes again. It's just super bright. Y'all have a fantastic day. And I can't wait to hear from all of the other leaders that are going to be joining us this week. So
Thanks so much for listening to the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur. If you loved what you heard today, could you stop and give us a 5-star rating and review? It helps our visibility on podcasting platforms so others like you can hear more of this message.
Also, if this episode encouraged you, we would love for you to pass it along to your own biz bestie and anyone else who could benefit. Lastly, don't forget that if you want to hang out with us just a little bit more, join us inside the Kingdom Minded Mompreneur community. Click the link in the show notes. Bye for now.